Okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. It's been a real pleasure to get involved with the LibreText team in the past year that we've been working together, and I'm very happy to present the Forge. Um, so here are my operating assumptions, which may not accord with your operating assumptions, but uh, these are some of my fundamental beliefs about where we are as instructors, where I'm an English compositionist, so I'm affected probably in a more dramatic way than a lot of people by by AI writing tools. Um, but so my assumptions are that long form original student writing and projects are a fundamental part of education, particularly at the post-secondary level. Um, while AI has many potential benefits in specific contexts, we need to encourage responsible use, especially in educational contexts. And that's not to say I don't have issues with uh, the large scale harvesting of data that was used to create AI in the first place. But I can't make it go away. The only person who could potentially has some friends who could make it go away is Sister Mary, and she's not with us today. Um, so, uh, right. Student work that is pure copy paste from AI has zero educational value. Um, and sustained student time and effort is fundamental to the learning process. Um, yeah, this is a sort of an idea that's been fundamental to the teaching of academic writing for years, that we focus on the process rather than the product. That what we really want for students is to have them uh, go through the effort of trying to improve their writing over the course of the class. Uh, the final product is almost secondary. Uh, yeah, and the AI detection paradigm is fundamentally problematic. As you know, there's a variety of these AI detectors out there, but they all have problems, as Delmar explained. They're prone to false negatives, so missing AI, and false positives. That's the more concerning is when it's labeling original student writing as AI. They can easily be game defeated by students by doing a modest amount of paraphrasing, or they just run it through one of the many paraphrasing tools that are out there. Even more troubling to me is that it doesn't provide any proof beyond the black box algorithmic judgment. Uh, you as the instructor may have very strong intuitions, but uh, you don't really have proof. Yes, this goes out saying that the most important thing we can do as instructors is smart assignment design. So, as a writing instructor, one of the things we were really focusing on is direct quotes, uh, mandating that students have direct quotes from the text that they're citing and or uh, from the springboard text that you're using. Because say if you're using an original piece that doesn't exist on the internet as the springboard assignment, as in the the text that you're using to that all students are writing about. This is a common strategy in English essay writing, is you'll have a common text that students write about, and they go off in their separate directions and write about they each write about the text or are inspired by it. If you mandate that the students include direct quotes from that, if it's not something that exists on the internet, or even if it is something that exists on the internet, even if the student requests to ChatGPT that it includes direct quotes, it'll make up fake direct quotes, and then you've got fake quotes. And you know, that's something that you certainly can mark the student down for. I hate that, yes, that a significant amount of my grading nowadays is searching for fake direct quotes and searching for fake books and articles in the works cited page that do not exist. And no one can defend spreading misinformation. Um, Anyway, also the AI detector is a pure policing stance. As Dr. Larson, as Delmar's been saying, we need to find a way to coexist as it is with AI. Um, so yeah, the Forge is based around particularly the writing, the 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 word processor functionality that I'm talking about today is based around this emerging writing analytics paradigm, which assumes that student time, effort, and revision are fundamental to any sustained long form assignment. I know this is not necessarily a assumption that all people, even all academics, assume. Particularly, sometimes folks in the hard sciences have a tendency to see writing as a chore. Um, uh, and particularly, a lot of people in the business world see writing as a chore and as something that it can be outsourced out to AI. Um, anyway, uh, the writing analytics paradigm also assumes works best when the assignments are designed around an iterative drafting process, including feedback from instructors and or peers. So yeah, it works best when you stage the assignment into multiple drafts so that you, either you or the student peers or teaching assistants, if you've got them, can put feedback on each draft and then uh, encourage slash require the student to go back and edit it to make it better. So even if the original text is largely AI, you can require them to go back and make it better. Um, and although I would never tell my students this, I can understand how in certain contexts, how uh, if a student can work with AI and but still use their brain, and the end result is something better than it would be otherwise, then potentially we could see that as a win-win. But if there's students doing nothing, then or very little, then there's no point in having them do the assignment at all. So the writing analytics paradigm allows instructors to take a variety of approaches slash perspectives on AI student use. So I'm more on the side of where I think it has very little to offer my particular student groups. But I understand that other people have different perspectives. But I assume that, or my assumptions is that no one wants to be reading work that is entirely or almost entirely AI in which the student did nothing. Um, so as Delmar went through some of these slides, I cut a few of them. Uh, but yes, so it's a browser-based word processor. Um, it's the Collabora word processor, which is the in the cloud version of the open source LibreOffice word processor. So it has all the functionalities, major functionalities of Google Docs and Word in Office 365 in terms of commenting, et cetera, et cetera. So this is what it looks like on the student side. You can make the student level analytics available to the student assignment level analytics available to the student if you'd like, or you can choose to not. As I will talk about later, one of our goals is to have an optional teacherly AI that is integrated with it. As one of our goals for the future is to have optional, as in the instructor can turn it off, teacherly AI that the student can interact with while they're writing. Uh, uh, and that could potentially reduce the impression that uh, this is all about surveillance. Um, when the student side becomes less passive, but that does not exist yet. Hopefully in the future. But right now it has spell check, grammar check, basically. On the instructor side is where the analytics are. Um, I will go through in greater detail in a little bit, but yes, it's more involved here. Um, so Dr. Larson went through the essay map. So yes, once again, time is on the x-axis. The physical location in the text is on the y-axis, but the y-axis is flipped so that the origin is at the top and the further on is at the bottom, like a written text. The green circles are the paste-ins, the red circles are the deletions. So this is an example of a assignment that went through a proper, very involved writing process. So this is an example of a very strong process. Student tried, and that's good. If you're wondering what's the difference between the left and the right one, the left one is they're obviously very similar. The left one is just the individual edits, and then the right one involves time. Uh, so it times out after 3 minutes. So after 3 minutes of the student doing nothing, then it just assumes that the student is taking a break. So that doesn't account, that's not included in the writing time. So something that we suggest that you might consider doing is including effort and revision as weighted factors in your overall assessment for the assignment. So as a way to give it some teeth in your assessment. So the system kicks out effort and revision scores for each assignment. Uh, they're obviously meant to be advisory for the instructor. Um, so if it's B or above, then that means that the student tried properly. In certain assignments, there's certainly a greater expectation of revision than others. But I think certainly in order to use the the analytic capabilities of Forge to their best, you would want to stage it in a multiple step assignment involving multiple drafts. People have used this for one and done homeworks. They've used it for test proctoring, but yes, it works best. This effect is strongest when it's a multiple draft process involving multiple steps. Um, so something Delmar didn't show is this rewind functionality. My examples here are lorem ipsum, so fake Latin. So basically what it does is it shows an animation showing the entire editing history of the document that you can queue up. Yeah. So this is just a fake assignment that I created. Uh, are you now seeing the instructor panel? Yes? Are you seeing the new?
Yes.
Okay. So for that, you would click on Rewind Essay. And so, and you can just advance it frame by, this is every 30 seconds, it's snapshots it. I will say that there's no keystroke logging here. That's something people get a little sensitive about. The way it works is that it snapshots the document every 30 seconds for the rewind. So it only ever sees the changes that occurs and then it snapshots the document and then it compares it with the previous version. So it only ever sees the changes that occur within the document. So anything the student does outside of the document, there's no logging of it. So The green is new text, the orange is edited text, and the red is deleted text. So I just went through here and typed up some lorem ipsum. Uh, so, and then as you can see, there's this big hump here. You can queue it up. Uh, that's where a big paste in occurred. Um, so if you just want to investigate what happened, they pasted in a bunch of text here. Or you can just press play and it will go through the whole thing. Or you want to make it go faster, you can fast forward it. That's the rewind functionality. So if you really want to investigate. So the assumption here is not that all copies and pastes are bad, but or that all AI use is necessarily bad, but we as instructors want to make sure that the students are doing things, that they're trying. So let me see. I'm back to the slideshow. Yes, everyone can see?
Yes.
Okay, great. Slideshow. So this is one that Delmar didn't show. This is the word change graph. This is another visualization. This gives you a better sense of the speed of how this thing was written and the overall time. So this snapshots. This is the change in word count every minute while the student is writing. That's each of those circles. So as you can see, this is mostly in the slowly composed zone, below 15 words per minute. And the student spent some 8 hours in total writing this. So that's good. By my perspective, that's good. Um, uh, then, yeah, um, if there's a copy, paste, and delete, or a cut and paste within the document, it will often manifest as these spikes then followed by dips. So yeah, and the white zone is the negative zone. So that's when there's the deletions. So this is an example of a high effort word change graph. And then here's an example of a low effort word change graph. This is the student. I've got my ChatGPT essay. I'm just typing it out as quickly as possible. I want to get it done. Get this garbage, turn in my garbage assignment. So as you can see, it's more in the hurried level. Something Delmar didn't show, but I think is actually one of our best features is this class level analytics. So all that you've seen so far are the student level analytics, a student assignment level analytics, and those you can show to the student. These class level analytics you can't because they're about the whole class. This shows, so the different bars are the different colors are the different assignments, and the different each of these are different students. So up at the top, this is the student who spent the most on all assignments, most time on all assignments in the whole class. And then at the bottom is this, so students' names are over here, but they're obviously blurred out. The student who spent the least amount of time on the assignments in the class is down here. So this gives you a quick look at the amount of time that all of your students have spent on the assignments throughout the entire class. This is one of the class level analytics for time on task. Another one, this is, so the different color lines are the different assignments. These are 8-hour sections, and you can change the period that you look at. So this is between May 25th, sorry, May 28th and June 24th. So each of these dots is 8 hours, and The different color lines are the different assignments. This is the amount of words changed by all students in the class. Uh, so this gives you a perspective on the amount of work that your whole class is doing on the individual assignments. Um, Particularly, so as we can expect, these spikes are at the deadlines for the individual assignments. But we can use this analytic to get a sense of how spiky their activity is. Uh, so from my perspective, what I want to see is that the students spread their workout over multiple writing sessions. So a better graph would be a less spiky graph. Obviously, there's going to be spikes associated with deadlines, but we can get a sense of how much we are able to get students to spread their work out across the class through the interventions of uh, through our various pedagogical interventions through this particular analytic. Um, this is each of these box plots are different assignments, and this shows the distribution of mean writing speeds for each assignment. Uh, so the middle line of the box plot is the median 50th percentile. And then the top whisker is 90th percentile, and the bottom whisker is 10th percentile in terms of. So this is the first assignment in the class, and obviously some students still hadn't figured it out that, oh, I actually have to be doing my assignment in this particular, uh, uh, doing my assignment in the Forge. So I'm just going to paste it all in, even though Dr. Oenbring's told me that I can't do that. And that's why we have some that went really, really fast. But as you can see, as the class goes on, uh, uh, that effect reduces. So this can give you a sense of whether there are any assignments that these students have a tendency to rush through. So my particular interest in this is obviously from the perspective of English composition. Obviously, there's lots of different ways you could take this, but here are some ideas for possible research and/or research lines of inquiry that could be done with this technology. I will say that we have everything ready so that you could potentially run your own your own version for your particular academic institution, where the data would be controlled entirely by your academic institution. So that could potentially help with, say, IRB issues if those are an issue at your institution. I know that not every institution would have someone like this, but I would assume that most medium-sized universities would have somebody on staff in their IT department who could easily install our technology in a couple hours. Yeah. Anyway, some ideas for research that could be done with this, or just things you could want to know as an instructor. So you could develop profiles of student writing processes. You can investigate the role that time-coded phenomena, including draft deadlines, could play in the composition process, the writing process. It can provide insight into different ways students write various types of genres and assignments. Can assess how student writing activity changes over the course of the class. If you're getting a sense of, wow, my students are phoning it in this last 2 weeks, you can actually get a sense of that. Um, it can help assess how effective various pedagogical strategies are for encouraging student engagement and revision. And it can help us deepen our understanding of the ways that students use generative AI and paraphrasing tools in their assignments, both to produce writing and to resist attempts by instructors to encourage original writing. Um, so I'll go through it in a greater detail here, but I guess I just want to finish up my PowerPoint, my slides here. So yes, things we want to work on, we want to build out are the student-facing teacherly AI. That is, it tutors them. It doesn't do all the work for them. That doesn't exist yet. We want to integrate it further with Adapt so that there could be Forge type questions. We want to build out the open pedagogy technologies that Dr. Larson's been talking about. Yeah, one of the big ideas in open pedagogy is transparency in the process. And I guess you could see this as extreme transparency in the process. And yes, financial sustainability. We don't want to make any money off this, but as you can imagine, there's some cost involved, particularly with the servers and such. So yeah, that's the goal. Let me see. I guess I can continue to go through the instructor side. Oops. So, let's see. So this is the main, in my grade flow, this is the main interface that I'm working with. If I want to make this full screen, I can just click on full screen panel, and then I can,
The screen is blank. We can't see your
oh,
screen.
ew, let's see. That work?
Yes.
Okay. Um, all right. Are we still saying yes?
Yes.
Okay, great. So so this is where I would be for my normal grading work, my response to student writing. Uh, so I can put comments. Have you considered XYZ, etc. Um, this is only a one draft assignment, but all the various drafts are up here on this bar. So when the various submissions would be indicated here, and you can click on them, once they're submitted by the student, then they become read-only. They become sort of archival versions, but you as the instructor and the student can always edit what we call the ongoing version, which is the currently editable version. And as the time for the assignment goes along, it moves across. Um, so what do all these buttons do? Okay, so this one, there's only one version available, but if there's various draft submissions that were submitted by the student and or your feedback that you want to keep, if those versions are available, you can select them from this drop down and or click on them up here. So submit button. So obviously in the ideal world, the student would submit and finalize their assignment, but it happens because you create the assignment as the instructor and the student starts it. Sometimes students will write and then they will obviously be done and then, or say the the deadline has come and you as the instructor want to say, okay, this student is done. They've done what they're going to do for this, but they haven't hit the finalized button. uh, then you can hit submit, uh, and then it will do that. Evaluate, that's when it provides the scores for effort and revision uh, to assist you. So it will, when the student submits a draft, it will update the effort and revision scores. And then those will be available in the score history down here. But if you want to update it at that time to see what the algorithm provides for it in terms of effort and revision, then that's the evaluate button. That's, once again, so the effort and revision scores are not meant to be binding. They're just sort of, ideally, they're whether you should take a deep dive or not into this. So if that is indeed something that you're concerned about. Or if you can say, oh, this student worked really hard on this, I want to reward them for that. You're like, okay, yeah, that's good. Reopen / exception, that's where you manage all of the students submitted it, and then so they submit it, and then if they submit the final draft, then they can't write anymore, obviously. But if you want to allow them to write more, then you click the reopen exception button and manage that there. That also allows you to give student deadline extensions. There's also functionality, I guess I'll talk about that later, but there's also functionality to have it, all the assignments will submit, whether the student's done or not, they will all submit at the deadline. In fact, there's a countdown. Uh, but yeah. Time metrics. This is how much the student spent writing. I won't go. So it differentiates between active writing time. That's when the student's like actively writing. And then think pause time, which is when which are the short gaps when the student is writing. So like 15, 20 seconds. Remember, it times out at 3 minutes. So definitely those 15, 20-second pauses are an important part of original composition. If you're just typing out your ChatGPT essay, you don't need those things because you're not thinking about what you're writing. So yeah, that's beyond the scope of this. So the analytics, that's what we talked about before, the essay map. So this is the lorem ipsum assignment where I fake wrote something and I did some edits and then I pasted in a bunch, and that's what it looks like for the essay map. The heat map shows the time that the student spent on it. So the hours of the day are the columns and the days are the rows. And then, yeah, the word change graph, as I showed you before. So here's the big paste in of 506 words. And then the rewind functionality, I already showed you this. Feedback. This is where you as the instructor provide your overall feedback, your overarching feedback for the assignment it's broken into various drafts. So, but once again, as I said, this assignment only has a final draft. And then score history. If it has scores for different drafts, then you'd be able to dig up what the scores for the previous drafts were. This one obviously doesn't have any scores yet. You can bring up the analytics for the student for the whole class here, and the analytics for the whole assignment here. I guess I'll go into creating an assignment. So this is you still seeing me? Yes, still following? So
Yes.
instructor class list.
Yes.
So LibreText demo. So the way you create an assignment is right here. oh, I guess I didn't do creating a class. I think creating a class is pretty self-explanatory. It's like any other uh, technology like this. You just need to give the student the enrollment key. Something you can do at this point to play around with it if you like is to uh, create a class, create an assignment, and enroll in your own class. If you want to access it as a student, you click on this button, the top left one, and the book is for the instructor functionality. So student is uh, this one, this icon, and the instructor is this one. If you don't have the My Classes Instructor, the book, then and you've logged into the Forge, then you haven't been approved yet for uh, an instructor access. And if you put your, after I'm done here, if you put a comment in the, if you email me or put a comment in the uh, chat, I can approve you for instructor access. So yeah, at one point we had some fake student assignments that you could play around with, but that's not there right now. But so unfortunately, when you're an instructor, you create a class, you create an assignment, there's still nothing there for you to see uh, yet until you get some data in there. Um, the videos here are right here, and the all of that I've been explaining is in this instructor guide, which is right here as well. And of course, I'm quite happy to go through this with you or perhaps with some folks at your institution.
We have a bit of time. Do you want to actually create a course and give out the access code for other people to sign up?
Sure, but there wouldn't be much for them to see. Nonetheless, I'll create a class, yes. Uh, let me see. Okay. My class is instructor. Okay, new class. So you click on new class to create a class. LibreText, LibreFest demo. So the enrollment key, this is what you obviously distribute to the student. Field of study, level, time zone. I'm in the Mountain Time Zone right now. And then you could pick the end date for your class. And then create. And then right here, my classes instructor. So my new class is there. LibreFest demo. So if you want to join my class, or you can create, if you want to join my class, the enrollment key is RO, that's an O, not a zero, hyphen N1BHN. RO-N1BHN. So you would to join it as a student. You remember the student functionalities are up here, this one. So click on the enrollment key, paste it in, click on the magnifying glass. There's the enrollment button. Beautiful. And then the assignment that I create will be there for you to see. But there's no assignments yet, as you can see, because we haven't created any, but we will do that now. So this is the class we're going to use, and we're going to make an assignment up here, assignments. So add assignment. So I'm calling this one academic essay. Why not? Point value, out of 100. The default start date is right now. You can change that. I want to have this one due September 18th at 11:59 p.m. So remember that this first one up here is the deadline for the final submission. So if you're doing drafts, those would be, you would indicate those later. This is the deadline for the final submission, is this one. So auto submission at deadline, that means, yeah, students can't write anything more at the deadline. And in fact, it submits whatever at 11:59 on September 19th, September 18th, it submits whatever the student has, and then they can't write anymore. I don't use that functionality, but some people do. Auto accept all changes upon student submission. What's that about? So if you're doing a multi-draft assignment, uh, you as the instructor, you leave feedback, you leave comments, you can directly edit the document. The track changes functionality is on by default. So if there's an issue with if there's just a typo or a spelling mistake or something that's obviously, they spelled somebody's name wrong or something, it's just, you can just fix it as the instructor, but it'll have track changes on it. Show the student that, oh yeah, you did that. So all those comments, the track changes, if you want all of that to disappear, to be all the changes to be accepted and all the comments to be removed, so to make sure that you have a clean draft upon the submission, that's what you click for auto accept all changes. So even though I tell my students, accept all my changes if I make them, and or delete all my comments at the end once you've attended to them, sometimes they forget. So the auto accept all changes make sure that it's a clean document that you're looking at for that particular draft. Show individual analytics graphs to students. You have choice of never, always, or after grading. So never means they'll never get to see the analytics for that particular assignment. Always is it'll show them the whole time, or analytics, or after grading means after they're done, after the assignment has a grade. Draft submissions. So if you want there to be drafts for this particular assignment, you need to click on that, and then it brings up. So I want this to be the rough draft, and I want that to be 30% of the value for the overall assignment. So I indicate that there, and I want this rough draft to be due on July 13th at 11:59. So then I click this, and then it creates it, and so it's now saying that the rough draft is worth 30% of the overall assignment, and then the final submission is worth 70%. Templates. If you want students to use, if you want students to be able to edit a previously existing document, a strategy some compositionists are using, and I guess some people in other fields for dealing with AI is, okay, yeah, so okay, we're all going to, I'm going to get a ChatGPT essay, and we're all going to use that as our starting point, or whatever. And then you have the students edit that. So they can prove to you and then make it their own, and make it in their own voice, and add whatever content you want to add. So the template is for that. So that's where you can select a document to make it the template. So every student will use that as the starting point for the document. Allow student to import the main document. That's kind of like the same thing, but on the student side. So you want to say, okay, you're going to use you're going to have the ChatGPT essay as at your first step is you're going to take your ChatGPT essay. You're going to import it, have that be the first step, and then it tracks the changes from there. So that's that. Additional files. So if you want the student to be able to, if you want them to have a spreadsheet that they're working with, uh, then you just click on that. We don't have, in our next update, you'll be able to have spreadsheets and presentations as the main file, the main thing that they work with. Right now, that the main thing has to be a document, but certainly by the end of the summer, we will have that so that the spreadsheets and presentations can be the main thing that they're working with. Something that I knew that I want to talk about that um, yeah, another update that we're going to have is, I know if a good number of people in the ADAPT ecosystem use our Spanish instructors. So right now, for the dictionary, Spanish is not there as an option, but we can add that easily. So by the end of the summer, Spanish will be there as an option. So do not despair. That's available, but it's not live right now. And then allow students to upload attachment files. So if you want students to have, say, large pictures, like say, for example, Dr. Larson's students, he like to have his students take pictures of their setup for their lab. A lot of those pictures that students take with their phones can be quite big. So those can hurt rather than having the student put those large pictures in the body of the document, which they can. It can be better to have them just upload them as attachment files. It can improve performance. And then we click create, and then I've created the assignment. So has anyone joined my class yet? Oh, a few of you have. Great. Those of you who have, I can see you. Those of you who have, you should be able to click over here on my class's student and LibreFest demo, and then there's the assignment right there. And then I put start, and then start again, and there's the assignment. I can type away, do all my things. So I want a spreadsheet. Yeah, so. So once again, this is the this technology is Collabora, which is the in the cloud version of LibreOffice, which is the open source version of Microsoft Word, their equivalents. And then when I'm done, oh yeah, so I'm a student, I've done my rough draft. I want to submit the rough draft. I go click on this and I click agree, and the rough draft's been submitted. Yeah. So you can see that here, the various drafts, the time allocated for the various drafts is indicated on this timeline here. So whatever deadline date I put for the rough draft to be due. Oh, the rough draft's due August 13th. So as the days go by, the ongoing icon will move along. And then, yeah. So this little gap here indicates that this is the gap between the rough draft and the gap between the time that's been allocated for the composing of the rough draft and the time that's been allocated for the composing of the final draft. Yeah. So then I can go back as a instructor to view. So there's the student visualization and the assignments visualization. So I sub so when the draft is submitted, if it's submitted on time, it's this dark green. So initial just means that the student has started writing, but nothing's been submitted yet. It gives total time writing, and it gives a rank in the class for that. So one being the most time writing. And so I want to see what I did. And okay, Letitia, I'm looking at yours. Very good. So that's the instructor side again. Okay. Are there any questions?
Can you comment about how your students
Anything else I should go through?
another 10 minutes, but we can certainly end early if a number of questions are there. Uh, Darylyn has a question, so I'll let her usurp mine.
Good morning. I have a question. Is there a fee for this service right now that the college would have to pay? And if so, how much is that fee?
I defer to Dr. Larson for all things relating to money. Because
Yeah,
this is being run
unfortunately,
on LibreText servers.
yeah, so unfortunately, we need some level of support to maintain this infrastructure. Right now, we have it set up so it's $15 per 6 months of access for students, and instructors get full get access automatically, which your account already has it set up. If your campus is a LibreNet member, then we have a bundle where the Forge, Adapt, and Jupyter all comes in as a bundle for the same price, just because we're trying to distribute this as broadly as possible. Our preference is for the campuses to handle that, not for the students, but many campuses also don't have the infrastructure in order to do that. So we just provide this at basically at cost of maintenance, again, because we are a not-for-profit entity. If you have any questions or concerns about that, please contact us directly. We're happy in order to work around issues that people have.
Okay.
One reason why I was inspired to build this thing was because I wanted this technology to be controlled by faculty rather than people that care about student learning and student writing, rather than tech companies and ed tech companies. So I was very fortunate to get connected with Dr. Delmar and his team, and we share the same philosophy. So yeah, but we still need to be able to pay for the servers, which are, you know, not insignificant.
Dr. Larson, really quickly, if we have funds available to help us with our OER when we're converting courses and things like that, are we able to use that funding source to pay for this?
Um, I'm probably not the right person to be talking to because I'm not in control of your funding source. Are you in a California community college?
Yes, Moreno Valley College.
Okay, so you're probably talking about the ZTC funds that the state.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, many of the ZT funds have been used in order to support these things. Those things can be used for these purposes. You just need to talk to your campus's people, and I don't know
It's Lyric Riley.
Okay. You can ask him about him, her. I'm not sure
They.
uh, uh, about the details regarding this. And like I said, the infrastructure is in place for using ZTC money, but you just need to get confirmation from the powers that be.
Okay, great. Thank you so
Mhm.
much.
Yeah. And if you need to test drive it, you can certainly test drive it for a quarter.
Okay, sounds good.
Hmm.
So I see one question: how is effort measured? So yeah, that's a good question. So both the effort and revision algorithms are based on a variety of things, the most important things being time. So we assume that spending longer on writing something slower is better. Uh, the types of changes the student makes. So yes, we don't want to reward them for fake effort. So um, they get more points for things like adding a citation, things like that. So it does code the different types of edits. And also it looks at fragmentation. That is like uh, the amount to which the edits are not linear, as in uh, the assumption being that if they go back and edit something, that's good. Um, yeah, so that all goes into the effort algorithm. Um, yeah, and I will say that you can, and we encourage you to, once you're done with the class, you can delete all student data after whatever time is appropriate. So, and that's not something that yeah, and that's that you would do that by it's a class level thing.
Can you comment on how your students have accepted this technology?
As I said, uh, you show them how it works. You give them the talk about, you know, it's important that you learn things and that, um, et cetera, et cetera, that, et cetera, et cetera. You give them a serious talk, and then I received almost zero pushback from students. Um, Perhaps that's largely because I'm dealing with students who are first year students, so I can kind of shape their expectations for university. Um, yeah, it's certainly possible that my students are more used to authoritative teaching in our cultural environment. Anyway, that's that. I do accept that other students may react differently, but that's been my experience.
And can you comment on the utility of showing the analytics to the students? Do they actually like it or express that it gets in the way of
I
anything?
mean, it's something that they can show that they can like the analytics on the instructor side is something that you can take or leave as you like. But uh, it's I I certainly believe that let me put it this way. I definitely think that with the issue of students getting falsely accused, which I do believe happens, of using AI when they don't, uh, having these proof of effort there that you can show to the instructor, uh, uh, a log that you can show to the instructor to prove that you tried is something that is protection for students as well. I do believe that it occurs when students are being accused of using AI when they're not, or what's probably more likely to happen is that they do a lot of work and then they run it through Grammarly to fix the surface level composition issues, and then the whole document can come out as positive for AI because Grammarly fixes up it makes the syntax AI, even though it's substantial. The student did a lot of work, so the student now can get points for all of the work that they've done, or at least there's proof that they have to protect them. Um,
Great. Any other questions? Well, I just want to repeat what I already said before. I think this is really cool technology. It helps to facilitate in a nice package this assignmentized long form technology, but with the advanced features that Raymond went over, shows that you can actually get quite a lot of information in order to help understand and guide your students in their construction, in this case here, writing activities. So thank you, Raymond, for a beautiful presentation.